Positive Anime Reviews is a review show that is designed for people who aren't very picky about their anime, like me. Most anime I watch ends up in my 5 out of 5 category. My reviews are for those people who are looking for a reason to watch anime rather than hate on it. I am willing to give any and all anime a chance before stating my opinion. Lastly, my reviews are all my opinion and might and or most likely will not match yours. If you don't agree, that's totally fine. Just be respectful in the comment section. Thank you. And as always, possible spoiler warning ahead. Hey guys, Darth Glork here, back with another positive anime review. Today we will be talking about Kokoro Connect. So, this is another anime that I have seen before, and although it has been a long time since I have watched it, now, I'm pretty much just going through my list of anime that I have seen. I have them, I'm not watching them in the order that I have them written down in, but now that I have a new updated reviewing system, I am going through them to double check reviews, to double check ratings, to because one thing that I wasn't aware of back in the day, and I was actually realizing this last night, is that so back in the day I didn't know that if an anime didn't have more, like, some anime, their sequel is a movie. And I didn't know that. Back in the day, I watched anime for years, and I didn't know that. So now another reason on top of like updating review scores and making sure that seeing if I like them more than I used to or whatever. Well, part of that is realizing, well, wait a minute, this has a sequel, and then so like going to watch that, because some anime might get a way better score if I know that there's a movie, like if there's a sequel that I didn't know about, you know what I mean? And plus, I'm a lot less overly sensitive than I have been in my, in the past, and so that's another reason to go back in and rewatch stuff. Anyway, so today we will be talking about Kokoro Connect. Now, this one is interesting because I have compared many anime to it. So the reason why, before we get into the rest of it, is because this anime was the first anime that I ever watched which definitely addressed adult issues, but was still well animated. And I've mentioned this just in several reviews, that a lot of when an anime is mature or it's dealing with mature adult issues, it often abandons animation. And I don't want to say abandons like they screw it up or anything, but it's not so much that, it's that their focus is on the story, right? And so often, because it's mature and it's adult, their animation reflects that. They're often non-colorful, or they're often dim, or they're often whatever. It's like a rainy night in a grim city. Whatever it is, they're not always well animated. And so when you find an anime that, like, yeah, so I guess that's what I'm saying, is that this was the first anime that I remember watching that I loved to death, and it was well animated like an anime that was, aimed at a younger audience, but still was all about adult issues that a younger person probably should, would probably not even enjoy, honestly. But anyway. So this was a landmark anime for me, because I was like, wow, that was like mature and like more, it was more mature, right? It wasn't supposed to be like comedy or whatever. It wasn't supposed to keep, very young people entertained. It was, it was mature, but it was still great to look at, and that was a universal concept to me. And so then, ever since then, I have watched anime and compared them to this anime, and being like, yeah, that was pretty good compared to this one. But then, I was looking through my list of anime, and I'm like, you know what? It's been, like, long enough since I've seen it. Like, what if it's not as good as I thought it was? So then I watched it, and I'm like, oh yeah, that turns out it was just as good as I thought it was. Anyway, so let's go ahead and officially hop into this one. So, as usual, we will be hopping into the synopsis right away, and then we will get to the rest of it. So, when 5 students at Yamaboshi Academy realize that there are no clubs they fit in, they band together to form the Student Cultural Society, or STU-CS for short. The club consists of Taichi Yagashi, a hardcore wrestling fan, Iori Nagase, an indecisive optimist, Himiko Inaba, a calm computer genius, Yui Kiriyama, a petite karate practitioner, and Yoshifumi Aoki, the class clown. One day, Aoki and Yui experience a strange incident when, without warning, they switch bodies for a short period of time. As this supernatural phenomenon continues to occur randomly amongst the 5 friends, they begin to realize that it is not just fun and games. Now forced to become closer than than ever, they soon discover each other's hidden secrets and emotional scars that could end up tearing the Stusias and their friendship apart. So, obviously for me, like when I first read it, I was like, wow, that's a cool premise, and I still think that is a really cool premise. Obviously, for the most part, it is like a slice of life, but with obviously the biggest thing being supernatural stuff all over the top of it. Now, so, anyway, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really cool concept. So this anime is from the summer 2012 season. So obviously it's it didn't just come out or anything, but yeah, it's from the summer 2012 season, and so obviously it's been out a little while at this point. Now, I don't know if there is a dub. I only have ever watched it subbed, and I didn't bother to look up the dub if there was one. I lean towards there not being one, but don't quote me. That's just a guess. Anywho, so as far as rating goes, like how clean or dirty is it? It's totally clean. Like there's no like sexual content or anything. There is some like initial awkward, like sort of like funny like very light ecchi-esque moments when like they're initially switching bodies and stuff, but it's really clean otherwise. Like there's no other, for the most part, you know what I mean? There's no, it's not like sexual content or anything. Anyway, but I would still probably. So the site I'm looking at is rating it PG-13, and I guess that's pretty accurate. I guess it's between PG-13 and probably R. The only reason I would give it more of a mature rating is just because the issues that it deals with are very serious, and the things you discover about about each one of these people is really intense. And although there is some very light comedy moments to help break the tension sometimes, mostly it's just a lot of drama. And so it's if drama is not your thing, I would encourage you to watch out. But I don't know. So I would give it more of a mature rating just because, in my opinion, I think you need to be older to appreciate all of the issues that it talks about and everything that goes on. I think it's easier to appreciate all those things if you are older. So I think if you're too young, you're not going to find it very, I don't think you're going to find it very interesting. So as far as similar anime, nothing particularly pops in my head at the moment. But anyway, going into genre is slice of life, supernatural. It lists a lot of things here, but I'll pick out the ones that I think is accurate. Slice of life, supernatural, drama, romance, because there is romance, and that's what a lot of it is concerning. And so that's really fun because especially my two favorite characters did end up together, and I was super stoked about that. And of course, we'll talk about that when we get into the character section. But the romance is a big part of it. But another huge focus of the anime is so each character there is something about them, right? Just like in real life, everyone has something going on in their lives. Something that's really tense for them, really hard for them, things that they probably don't want other people knowing about necessarily, right? I mean, especially if think about in your life where you're at, and think about your friends if you have any. That's not me being mean. Some people don't have friends, okay? And myself included. That's the reason I say that. Anywho, so think about that, and think about your most deeply buried issues. Do you want your friends necessarily knowing about that? I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying for a lot of people, they'd be like, no. So it's one of those things it's really tense. It's really dramatic. There's a lot of drama in the anime. It's a drama anime with other stuff over the top of it. There's a lot of drama going on, but it ends well, and it has a great ending, and the things they talk about are really real. Drama for me only pisses me off, and I'm not always a big drama person, but the reason why is because drama that pisses me off is the drama that it's all about stuff that it's like them forcing drama. That for me is annoying whenever there's a drama in an anime when it could be easily fixed by just talking to the other person or whatever. Like if there's an easy solution, they just don't do it to make it dramatic. They build unnecessary drama. I hate that. Whether it's drama in a romance or drama in a drama anime, and there's a lot of movies like that too, where they just force drama for no reason because they think it's entertaining. I don't find drama entertaining just for drama's sake. For me, it has to be deeper. It's the same thing with ecchi anime. If you probably notice a recurring vein in my anime that I can like ecchi anime, but there has to be deeper stuff behind it. If it's just if it's just ecchi for ecchi's sake, I'm probably not going to enjoy it. I'm probably not going to like it. Same thing with drama. If it's drama for drama's sake, I don't like it. It has to be deeper. There has to be more. But if there is, it is often very well made, in my experience. Now this anime is, of course, no exception. Sorry about that. Anyway, it is no exception. This anime is fantastic. So, moving on into our next section. Obviously, we just talked about genre. So, season length. Now, on this site, it says 13 episodes. That is a lie. Do not pay attention to that. Now, and I mentioned this in one of my gameplay videos, why this review didn't come out sooner. So basically, this anime technically has 13 episodes, but there is 4 what the site I was watching referred to them as specials. Well, don't be deceived, because they are not actually specials. They are actually episodes. Or if they are specials that, like, conclude the last 4 episodes of the anime. So it's one of those things that it's like, don't be deceived. After you watch the 13 episodes in the regular season, find episodes 14 through 17, because the rest of the anime is concluded there. And so it says 13 here. It's a lie. Don't pay attention to that. I don't know if they came after the fact or whatever. I really don't know. But regardless, they're often referred to as specials, and I don't want you to be tricked into thinking, well, that's it. That was a stupid ending. There's 4 specials. Find them. And any site that I saw this show on had the specials in the list, so it shouldn't be that hard it should be easy to not miss them. Which is, of course, great because you don't want to miss them. So going into the characters, as always, any show is only as good as its characters, and yeah, that's just the truth of that. Anywho, so going into the character list here. See, oh, there, I'm just blind. Okay, so going into the character list. The anime follows the main 5 characters. The 5 characters in the group here. They are the 5 that it mentioned up top. Well, they are the characters that it centers around. There are a few other supporting characters. There's not many of them, and they're fleeting. They're truly support characters. But we will only be talking about the 5 main ones and then the main villain guy. So, I mean, sort of a villain. It's kind of weird like that. Anyway, so going into the characters first. Our first character is Himiko Inaba. Inaba is she is the, black-haired, more serious girl. She's really intense. She can be really cold and really harsh, especially in the beginning. But basically, she's not as cold as she seems. Let's put it that way. She's not as cold as she looks. She acts cold. She often acts mean. There's a lot going on underneath, and she is actually my favorite character in the show. Is Himiko Inaba is my favorite character in the show. But regardless, she is really cool. There's a lot going on under the surface, and we'll talk a little more about the romance stuff in a second, after we talk about all 5. So then the next one is Iori Nagase. Iori, there's also a lot going on under the surface there. Oh my gosh, craziness. Anyway, regardless, so Iori is the optimist. She is very happy, very peppy, and there's a lot going on underneath that will reveal a lot about what's truly going on, or in that department. She looks kind of similar to Inaba, but she's not nearly as peppy or as friendly as Inaba is. So or she's more so than Inaba ever would be, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So moving on to the next one, this is one of the 2 main males in the anime. You have Taichi Yagashi. Taichi is sort of the most main character for them. I mean, kinda. It focuses a lot around him, and it's kind of most about him. But anyway, so Taichi is the main dude. 2 of the girls have a crush on him. He is in a romance. It's sort of this love triangle thing with Himiko Inaba and Iori Nagase. And he gets together with oh man, I think I just spoiled it. Okay, well, spoilers, okay. He gets together with Inaba at the very end, and I'm stoked because I shipped it. I shipped it, and I was stoked about it, so that worked out well for me. Anyway, so, and he's a good guy. Deep down, his biggest desire is to help people, and so all he wants to do is to help people out, and it's decrease all the problems on everybody else. You know what I mean? By sharing and helping them out. So he's ultimately a good guy that way. He's always trying to help, help his friends out and stuff. And it often, kind of often, it often sort of comes back to bite him, and so that's less than ideal. But it's all for a good cause, right? All right, next one is Yui Kiriyama. She is the karate person that it mentioned in the synopsis, and she's cool. There is a lot of, just like with all of them, there is deep-seated issues there, and she's friendly and she's nice, and she is the blonde character in case you're going for a visual reference. Anyway, and so then the next one is Yoshifumi Aoki. Aoki is the only other main male character, and he is the class clown. He's the dork. He is the butt of all of their jokes in the main group. But ultimately, there is good stuff going on deep down. He's not just shallow, comedy relief. But he is a good guy. He's a good guy deep down, and he crushes hard on Yui, the blonde karate girl. He crushes hard on her, and things end up going pretty well for them. And it's really cool. So that is the main 5. It's about them. The only other character that I'm gonna introduce is their teacher. His name is I think his name is Goto technically or something. Goto or whatever. He is their teacher. He is technically their moderator for their club. So he's technically like the teacher that's over their club. He doesn't ever check in on them though. He's more focused on the other club that he moderates, and he's sort of a laid back dude to begin with, and so they don't almost ever interact with him. So the main villain is some sort of creature thing that often takes over that teacher's body, and they often refer to him as Heartseed, but that's just what they call him, and that's what he tells them to call him. One site that I saw, it was translated differently, and it was called Balloon Vine. So I don't know. It's just whatever. But most of the animes referred to him as Heartseed, and I think that from what it was the more popular translation, so I'm assuming that's probably more correct or whatever. But anyway, and so he is the main sort of villain. So basically, obviously, it talked about it in the synopsis, but there is so the initial phenomenon is they all switch bodies. So obviously they get switched bodies between them, and things happen there. Well, that actually isn't the only phenomenon that happens to them. That's just the first one. Other phenomenon happens, and I'm not going to tell you what the other ones are because that's a fun surprise. But the first one, it tells you that they switch bodies. Well, that's not the only one that happens, and so it is pretty intense because other things happen to them, and it stretches them in different ways, and you feel really bad for them a lot of the time, just because it's a really stressful thing to have going on, and they all have so much issues buried underneath that you just feel, I don't know, you just feel sorry for them. Okay, it's whatever. So going into favorite characters, obviously Himiko Inaba is my favorite character. She is a snot on the surface, but deep down she is so awesome, and I love her a lot. So she is the best. So animation and music, I mentioned this of course in the beginning. It is very well animated. It is very, very pretty to look at. It's colorful. It's bright. There's a lot going on. Now, of course, don't be deceived. Of course, though, just because it looks like an anime that is addressed for whatever younger audiences or whatever, it isn't. It's not. Obviously, it's a big into its mature adult issues and things that real people really have to deal with, and it's a drama anime. So there's obviously a lot going on there, and so but there's something that hits me specifically with anime that is well animated but is intended for mature audiences. And I'm not against anime that's mature and has sort of more of a more bland color palette, and it's not as supposed to be bright and colorful. I'm not 100% against it. It's just it stands out maybe more to me when it goes against that sort of maybe the trope or the stereotype, when it goes against it, that it's well animated and pretty and the music's good, but it's also a mature adult anime. For me, that stands out more, and so that's the reason that I sort of hold it up to that standard. Now, the music, as I don't recall the music about blowing my mind or at any point specifically, and I'm not going to say that it was bad or anything, but it just wasn't. This isn't an anime that you're just oh my gosh, the music or whatever. I mean, maybe the opening and closing songs were good, just like with most any anime. But yeah, I mean, it was just it was there when it needed to be, and that's pretty much it. So going into final rating and recommendation. So, final rating, I'm going to give this one a 6 out of 5, one of my favorites. This anime is one of my favorites, and I love it. So that is the rating we are going to give it. What's interesting is that initially, in my initial review before I did anything for YouTube, is when I watched the anime, and originally in my little paragraph that I wrote about it, I wrote being like, oh man, like this was so good, I wish I could give it a 6 out of 5, LOL, like as a joke. And then I wrote about what I actually thought about it and what I liked about it and all that jazz. But it's interesting because obviously later I did give it a 6 out of 5 because obviously I rewatched it. I was like, yeah, that is definitely favorite material, and it's funny that as a joke I said that back in the day, and it ended up being exactly what happened. So that's that's kind of funny. But anyway, and then recommendation is I recommend this anime if you are into what sort of I'm into. If you like drama anime or like in general, or if you like anime that talk about real adult issues or that feel like sort of hit home a little more, I 100% recommend it. Or if you have a thing about anime that's really well animated, but also more mature, watch it. Totally watch it. However, if you're not into those things, like if you're not a drama person, then you should probably stay clear. This anime is very dramatic, and there's a lot going on there, and you kind of have to watch it kind of quickly if it bothers you that like because there's a lot of drama, and you're just like, no, it's too sad, I can't even, or whatever. So if that's something that you are struggling with, then you might either watch it very quickly so you can watch the resolution behind it all, or don't watch it at all because there's a lot of drama and you're not really going to escape that. No matter You're not going to escape it. This anime is drama. So anyway, that is going to call it for this positive anime review. So I will be recording I think it's part 16. Part 16 of Dragon Age right after this. And then that is going to call it for today. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the content today, and we will talk to you guys later.
Hey guys, Darth Clark here.
Oh my gosh, though, what an upset. Darius is like, forget your type advantage, scrub.
And look at that stat line.
Ooh, sexy. This is your chance, my dude.
It's tear gas. Reznov, save me.
Everyone's rushing. Let's rush too.
You could say we're rushing to the objective. I'm so sorry.
I'm gonna shoot your little toes. You think PETA's gonna come after me for just executing these monkeys for literally no reason at all?
Shoot at me. So oh my gosh. Be careful what you wish for, kids.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the content today, and we will talk to you guys later.